Nick, how you doing, man? I thought I'd give you a call, man. You know, I talked to you, man, about my issues, my legal issues. Well, my lawyer, he said that he could be up here Friday. But he lied again, and he's been very ineffective. He's been on my case for 5 years, and it's been unprofessional conduct, one after another. I've continued to ask him to make challenges on my motions because if I'm convicted, I can't challenge the issues that I'm trying to get him to challenge right now because they're going to say that I should have challenged those issues in the lower court, and they therefore will waive my issues. Here's the most important thing. When you look at the affidavits, both of these affidavits in search warrant, if I listen to Russ Hunt, he told me, basically my first attorney, Russ Hunt Sr., told me that they never had search warrants when they came to my house anyway. But they were going to fix me up because I was detected. But be that where it's made, here's this affidavit, supposed to be Mosley affidavit. Mosley basically worked for me for 20 years, and he just wanted to cover for his buddies there, Lean, Reinhardt, who was the operation of this rogue argument. But anyway, let's talk about the affidavit for a minute that my attorney won't challenge. Now, in this affidavit, I'm telling him to challenge the truthfulness of the affidavit and to simply say that the officer reckless and with disregard for the truth lied to get this affidavit to search my house. And when you look at the affidavit, he never says I committed the crime nowhere. He never says that I served anything. But you got to make this legal challenge. You know what I'm saying? In order to get a ruling, even if the judge here on the lower court, district court, make a ruling, and this ruling is not right, the appellate court will be able to rectify, the legal argument. And so you have to be specific about the argument that you're making when you're talking about whether the officer was truthful or not. And then not only do you have to be specific about it, you have to say that he lied to the search warrant. There's nothing in here that said I committed a crime. There's nothing in here that said I haven't sold anybody anything. And so by you going to the judge and asking the judge to search my house for drugs, that was a reckless disregard for the truth. Now, you can put in a motion, and like my lawyer has done, and put this effective motion in and make these baseless arguments about there was no probable cause for a judge to search warrant. But that's nothing. That's no applicable issue. They don't even look at that. You know what I'm saying? We haven't made the proper legal argument and then base that argument on fact and request proper hearing. And so this attorney continued to go in the courtroom, putting effective motions in, trying to make specific argument, and so it's really denying me a right for me to have a fair trial, for the process to be fair. He's starting to call these witnesses ahead of time and get them ready to be able to testify within 5 years. He should have been done that, but he hasn't. We've sent out subpoenas, and the subpoenas that have been answered. I think I talked about that last time. But the basic violation here is the Killeen Police Department never had a search warrant to search my house. And so basically they violated my constitutional liberty to be free from unreasonable government intrusion into a place that I had an expectation of privacy. So basically, not only did they do that, that's a manner for suppressing evidence, because in the manner that they entered my house was they constitutionally violated my rights. And the collection of evidence is another rule that, plays into the 3823, Article 3823 of the Texas Constitution, right? And manner of entry and the collection evidence. You have to be able to show, and we have those issues. For one, they shouldn't have been at my house. They shouldn't have served the search warrant. But he has to be able to make that legal argument. You just can't put it in motion and not make the legal argument. And that's what he's doing in my case. He's putting motions in. He's failing to make the legal argument, and then he's failing to request that the judge give a ruling of law of fact on every issue. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that the judge make these rulings based on the law of fact. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so he's not asking the judge to make any ruling based on the law of fact, so the appellate court can determine why the judge made his decision, you know, and determine was there any, you know, any violation in that in the appellate court. So this is why so many people, you know, lose their life, get license and stuff. They don't, you know, educate themselves. So I try to educate myself, and this lawyer just will not make the motions. He will not call the witnesses. And so, you know, that's a conflict with a lawyer's own interest where, you know, the lawyer will fail to make arguments because of his loyalty to others. So this lawyer is loyal to the prosecutor and the state. And, you know, he failed to come see me. He lied. He basically violated my mailing rights, committed a federal crime against me by stopping my mail from making it on a lawsuit. And I asked him, he didn't care. You know, so this is something, you know. And so the other lawyer I got, he just got off the case a couple of weeks ago. And then they gave me this other lawyer. And so I haven't seen him. And it's tough, man. You know, it's tough, man, because, you know, I got great arguments. You know, my case is before these attorneys, these police not coming to my house, then this whole incident would never take place. You know, and so I'm not talking about whether it's a no-knock or none of that. I'm just talking about constitutional violation and them just trying to bust in my house. I'm not talking about whether they announced or not, but, you know, they didn't. And then, you know, we don't even have a grand jury transcript as to what was presented to the grand jury. You know, how many witnesses called. You know, it's just tough, man. You know, it's tough because most of these court-appointed attorneys, man, they get paid to have a great life, and they get paid a lot of money, and they don't do their jobs. They don't want to do what their jobs are. Some of most of them, like my attorney here, he's taking a case where he doesn't know how to file a motion. The judge has told him to file motions, and I'm really surprised because the judge is the one who hired him to be on my case. And so, I would think that the judge would hire somebody who has the skill, but he requested that he make motions in my case. He refused to do it. The prosecutor, in regards to he requested that my attorney come in and make the legal argument. He's going to come in the court just to talk to you. You know, because, as I said before, the appellate court is not going to search the record to look for your complaint. Because a lot of times, the record is not in front of the appellate court. That's why motions are very important. And so, you know, it's been 5 years, man. I hardly think that he's going to, you know, do the right thing. And now he's hiding out from me. You know, I've called him like 5 or 6 times today. You know, I guess he feels kind of guilt, shame, faith, whatever. You know, but man, it's tough, man. You know, is to you know, make my legal arguments when this attorney is standing in the way for me making my legal arguments, for me making my motions. I put these motions together, but so I'm gonna request that let me copy them, and I'm going to send them over to the court to protect myself, and just let the court know, man, listen, I can't, challenge these issues that about the truthfulness of affidavit. If you don't challenge that, I can't challenge that this officer put a gun in my mouth and therefore issues should be suppressed. I can't argue that the officer who just interviewed me gave me a false consent form to sign. I can't make that argument, and if it's not made upon a motion, I have these motions, these affidavits, and, it's just something, man, and, it makes you wonder, man, what process is this going through? I haven't heard anything from this attorney. I'm begging him to come up here. This other attorney that they just gave me, he ain't been up here. And so it's tough, man. It's tough to me. See that, my life is on the line and I'm innocent of any crime, and that, these attorneys keep telling me that, hey, man, the judge is not going to let us put forward a defense in your case. So I'm going to leave. It's hard to hear that, man. I mean, I don't see that, but that's what they're telling me, and Russ Hunt telling me the same thing. And Carlos, he's acting scared. He's going in the back, and every time they come out, they're shaking and nervous, and I'm like, man, I'm going to face some death, you guys, all you guys got to do is do the legal work, and if they didn't want to, I could have did it. But they've been on my case so long right now, it's going to be hard for me to make the argument that I want to represent myself, because that's going to stretch it out longer. And so, man, it's bad, And so I'm trying to reach out to different people, man, to give me help, some kind of help, man, because this is a roguish operation. They're trying to protect those rogue cops, and I've seen my lawyer slapping the DA for eyes, requesting that I go on a record saying that I want to use a statement. He wanted to use a statement after a police officer committed what is considered a hate crime in Texas by taking his gun and sticking his gun in my mouth. And I can't even say the other things that he did when he pulled my pants down. I'm just embarrassed to say all the, acts that, this officer did, but the DA, he hasn't came forth with charges on this officer and he committed a hate crime against me. In the law of Texas, if you look at the Dennis Byrd Act, when Dennis Byrd got drugged in Jasper, Texas came out with a hate crime law, and that law says a police officer can't take his weapon and use his weapon to threaten you by entering his weapon to your any part of your body, and as he threatens you for your life. He can't do it because of race, gender, sex, or whatever, religion. And so this officer definitely violated that, and so DA hasn't filed charges on him, it's crazy, man, but, I'm holding up, man, and trying to keep my head together, keep my thoughts together, man, I still got to have some kind of faith and request that God, soften their hearts, it's hard for me to try to go up against the power that be, which Michael White tells me I can't go against the judge, the DA, and my lawyers too, and so they try to capitalize on people ignorance, and so it's no telling how many people, all this mass incarceration. Most of these lawyers know that most of the people come through here don't have any knowledge of the law, and when charged with a crime, they don't know, but they practice psychology, and they use psychology on the young, the old, the people that is less like I said, I educated myself, and I learned as much as I can because I know that I'm innocent, and I know I didn't shoot nobody. I know that they didn't have a warrant, and if they did, the warrant was defective, and that he lied. I know that the judge abandoned his judicial role as natural in the tax, and if he served this warrant, gave him this warrant, he rubber stamped because there's nowhere in the affidavit to say that I committed a crime. And then you got the issue of them re-indicting me, and that's the issue. You know, I believe that's corrupt because now they're trying to separate the first affidavit and supplement it with the second search warrant and use that affidavit to deny me the right to challenge the bad affidavit. And, you know, so you can see how these judges, DAs, and these court-appointed attorneys, they weaponize the court against you, especially in a case like this, you know, where they want to basically kind of stay base. And so that's why it's important that everybody be able to vote on a DA, the judges, and everybody, because if the DA's been in that power for 20 years, he's never even had anybody to challenge him. You know, I guess he files the paperwork and just put one name on it. He's the DA. And none of these other DAs want to challenge him because they corrupt and they like corrupt manner in which he's, you know, slaying people, you know, and he's basically sending more people to death and life in prison because 20 and 30 years in prison is life sentence, you know, and, you know, it's just wrong for DAs to file charges against you just because they know they can get a conviction. And so that's what I think is, you know. But like I said, I'm going to stay prayerful and faithful, you know, but, you know, like I said, they ambush you here. I've seen guys waiting to go to court and they don't hear nothing. Next thing you know, they walk in the court and the jury's in there. And their lawyers have violated their rights. Basically, all the things I've just stated to you about, you know, the errors that he's making, not making my legal arguments, not making them with facts, and not, you know, making my arguments with evidence. Like one of the police officers said that they did the first announce. You know, another guy on the pole said they did not announce, and he's not calling these witnesses, man. You can't wait till the last minute to call witnesses, and these are critical witnesses. Dennis Baldwin, Donahue, Lee, and all these people. If you wait till the last minute and try to call these people, like my lawyer is trying to tell me, and I know he's lying. Oh,
you have 1 minute left.
We can call this, we can call it, but, you know,